Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of For Continental Podcast. Today we do the FIFA World Cup 2026 Group G all the way to Group L predictions. I'm Momin from Pakistan, and with me here is
Sing Park, which is me.
let's just dive straight into Group G.
Now, before we dive into though, I want to thank Momin and Zakaria for doing the Group A to Group F video. If you haven't watched it, go make sure to check it out. And yeah, last thing, like, it's World Cup time. How are you feeling? It's less than 6 hours left.
Yeah, honestly, it's 4 years passed since the last World Cup. So here we are again.
Yeah, it's
Mexico
amazing feeling,
versus
right?
South Africa, the same opening game of the 2010 World Cup. We're back with it again. Uh,
Yeah, it's so crazy, right? Alright, so let's dive straight into then.
Group G is quite an interesting group. Belgium being the strongest team here on paper. Egypt, Iran, maybe on par teams. New Zealand is a bit below the level. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to talk about obviously on paper, Belgium should be the strongest team, right? Because obviously we saw the golden generation from 2018, and the same team kind of continued in 2022 as well. But I also do want to point out that I've noticed that there's like not like high expectations for the Belgium team anymore, which is kind of understandable. Because when you look at it, like to this day, it is still like the same players we see mostly from 2018 World Cup. Obviously, there's like fresh new talent now. Like there's Doku now, which who I don't think he played much in the 2022 World Cup. But
Yeah, yeah,
as I've
true.
noticed that the expectation of them have gone down a bit, which is I guess is a good thing for them.
Yeah, if you compare their side from 2018 to now, there's a lot of new players who weren't there in the 2018 lineup. But also, they still have some key players such as De Bruyne, Lukaku. Doku has been doing well for Man City, so there will be some expectations from them. So, yeah, excited to see how far they go.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you, would you say you still back them to finish first for the rankings?
I mean, looking at the group and looking at their squad, they should be able to top the group. But since it's the World Cup, you never know. Every team gives it their best shot. So we got teams like Iran. They're often underestimated in the World Cup. They have made some great results in the past. So I wouldn't um, look throw them under the ground. Like anything can happen in this group, honestly.
Yeah, one thing I really like that you just mentioned now is the fact that Iran is quite underlooked. So obviously, now I don't want to bring politics aside as well, but like I do think that Iran is still a quite good team. I do think people are underestimating them. And in my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if Iran finishes second at all. Like I do back them to even finish second.
Yeah, and we got Egypt and New Zealand in the group. Egypt with Mohamed Salah and El Nini. I'm not sure if he's still in the World Cup squad, but there will be a lot of pressure on Mohamed Salah since it's probably his last World Cup. He will do his best to at least take Egypt out of the group on to the round of 32 maybe. Oh yeah, there will be a
Yeah,
lot of expectations from him.
yeah, yeah, true that. But obviously, I think that even Egypt in like the AFCON haven't been like quite excellent as well. So I do not back them to actually go quite far, anyways. But I do think that I would say that New Zealand, I do think will probably be the worst group out of the all. I mean, will be the worst team out of the group. I mean,
Yeah,
we have
I
seen
mean
from their
it's
friendlies, they have not been playing good as well.
yeah, the other team Haiti actually battered them 4-0, and they didn't have the main player playing for them. they still beat New Zealand 4-0. So I think this is a lot of this is concerning for New Zealand. Although they have Chris Wood up front, and technically he's a Premier League player, so as usually he will have expectations from his nation on the shoulders. But I don't see them finishing in the top three of the group. So I'm gonna make them. They're gonna probably exit the group stages.
Yeah, I would back them to finish dead last in the group as well. And it is kind of funny because there was a running joke which was always like the team is just like Chris Wood with friends.
Yeah,
But at least
exactly.
now they have like one of the most popular players in the world, though Team Paine. So I guess that's good for them.
Yeah. So, what are your final prediction for Group G? Who finishes first, second, third, and last?
So to finalize it, in first I'll put Belgium. In second, I would put Iran. But for me, Iran and Egypt are like quite. It could be either way for them. And in that last, I would put New Zealand.
Yeah, I will also put Group G similarly. Belgium probably topping the group, followed by Iran or Egypt because, as you mentioned, they're kind of the same level. So it will be interesting to see who finishes second. With New Zealand will be finishing last and exiting the World Cup.
All right, all right. So shall
So
we move on to Group
let's
H?
move to Group H.
All right. So first, let's start off with the obviously the what I think will be the most best performing team in the group, which is obviously Spain. I mean, no surprises there. Like obviously they already done great in Euros. They still have a great team. And but one thing I do notice about the Spain is that I don't think they kind of have like a main goal scorer anymore in the team. You know, like so in the Euros it was mainly Morata who was the striker for them. But now like obviously there's like Fran Torres and like
Oh
there's
yeah, the
one guy I can't
bar.
really pronounce
Yeah,
his name. Yeah, Orgabal. Yeah, yeah. So what
yeah,
do you think
exactly.
about that situation?
Spain, they all together they have very young squad players like Pedri, Gavi, Yamal, Nico Williams, Oyarzabal, Ferran Torres. But yeah, they don't have a proper number nine, which was Morata for them in the Euros. But
Yeah.
I think they will somehow manage because with all the quality they have, they will probably somehow manage to score goals.
Yeah, I don't think that it will be a much of a big problem to them. And I mean, at the end of the day, their midfield will be stacked, and they still got like big players like Yamal, Olmo, and all that.
Yeah, let's move towards Uruguay now.
Yeah,
So Uruguay obviously didn't pick Luis Suarez this time. Although I was kind of hoping that he may get a call up for his final World Cup, but I understand he's getting old and it's not that Luis Suarez anymore. But if without him, they still got a pretty good squad. Players like Valverde, Araujo, uh, Jimenez, Nunez, there Esqueta. There's a lot of players who can actually help them a lot in this campaign.
yeah. I don't. Yeah, obviously, uh, for now, I don't think that Suarez being in the not being in the World Cup will affect them much because obviously he's old and stuff anyway. So I think that the Uruguay obviously still have talent. I mean, they have Araujo, they still have Nunes. So and Uruguay in the World Cup they never do that bad anyways. So I would still back them. Honestly, I would back them to finish second. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean it's quite possible. Looking at the group, they got Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. So it's moving towards Saudi Arabia. They actually surprised everyone at the last World Cup in Qatar by beating Argentina.
Yeah, obviously that was a big upset then. And Saudi Arabia has always been putting a lot of investment into their football, as we have seen in the last couple of years. So it wouldn't be shocking that if they could pull out like a upset again. I mean, I would they like I won't be surprised if they would finish second in the group.
Yeah, I agree. It's basically look at their league. They invested a lot in the players, like many top European players like Ronaldo, Benzema, and such. However, their main player in the national team remains the Dosari. So it
Yes,
will be interesting to
Salman
see.
Masari, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it will be interesting to see where they finish. And Cape Verde, I believe this is their World Cup debut. So it will be interesting to see how they play against the top teams in the group.
Yeah, and but obviously, in my personal opinion, I think that Cabo Verde would finish last in the group. I mean, the fact that they reached the World Cup itself is already quite a big achievement, in my opinion. And
Yeah,
I really don't see any ways how they would like even like finish top, finish third, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
yeah. Honestly, it will be an absolute miracle for them to actually finish third in this group. But you never know since it's the World Cup. Any team can go to the top. Any team can finish to the bottom. But yeah, let's move on to the final
Yeah, so like
prediction
you
to
were
the group
saying,
H.
like
Yeah,
it's the World Cup. Like obviously, if they somehow manage to pull off an upset, I would actually be very happy. Because that's the beauty of the whole World Cup,
yeah,
all the
exactly.
unexpectations and everything that happens alongside with it.
So let's see your final prediction for Group H. Where
Yeah.
does each
So
team finish?
yeah. So in first, I will put Spain. In second, I will put Uruguay, and then third, I'll put Saudi Arabia, and fourth, I would put Capo Verde.
For me, I would put let's see, Spain first, Uruguay second, Saudi Arabia third, and Cape Verde fourth, and just the way it goes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So let's move towards Group I now.
Yeah. Do you want to start first?
Okay. So Group I is basically very interesting teams we have here. A potential group of death, perhaps. France, Norway, and Sadio Mane leading Senegal. So it will be a very interesting group. Some very great players will be facing each other.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, I think the fact that there's France, Senegal, Norway, I do think it's already a quite a difficult group already, because I don't think any of these teams are really that bad. But obviously, let's start off with France first. I mean, what more do we have to say? I think France is still like their depth is insane. I mean, we just look at the attack. Like, obviously, there's Mbappe, there's Olise, and now we have a way better version of Dembele compared to 2022. Now we have the Ballon d'Or version of Dembele, which is crazy, right? And it doesn't even go
Yeah,
on. Like, I think like even if they could play like the not like even they could play like the B team of their attackers, it would still be a quite stacked team. Like they're that good in my opinion.
I absolutely agree. With France, they have a lot of depth in their attack. But however, they lack a bit in their midfield because they don't have such renowned players in their midfield. So I think this will be a bit of a shocker to them. However, their defense is quite solid. They just lack a bit in the midfield compared to their attack and defense.
But for I want to ask you though, like for defense, right? What would you say about their fullback situation though? So like who would you have for who would you rather see starting as their for like left back or right back?
Yeah, it will most likely be Theo Hernandez and Jules. The what's his name? Uh,
Yeah, Kunde.
yeah, Kunde. Yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
him and
Kunde.
Theo Hernandez starting on the
Yeah.
fullbacks.
I mean, yeah, obviously,
So
I think the starting defense will and the starting center back partnership will probably be Saliba and Upamecano.
yeah, it could be Saliba Upamecano or Upamecano and Ibrahima, the Liverpool
Yeah,
centre back, Konate.
Yes.
Yeah, they can do well actually. So let's move towards Senegal now.
No, no, actually, before we move on to Senegal, like, I actually kind of want to ask you. So, so there was a stat I saw from the other day. So it was like the historic performance, like it basically showed like I saw like Mbappe, he was like performing so much better for France, obviously compared to Dembele. But don't you think it would be quite interesting to see like this World Cup, like how these two will actually be spread out? Because I do think that the goals will be quite spread out across like all the attackers in the team.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Mbappe alone scores majority of the goals because they have like Doué on the wing, they have Dembele, they got Barcola, and they are basically pretty stacked in the attack. So goals will be coming in from almost everywhere. But if you look at their recent friendly against Ivory Coast, it came as a surprise. They got defeated by Ivory Coast, the team which is often quite underestimated in Africa.
Yeah, yeah, true. But yeah, that's why I said I think the goals of France will be quite spread out across the players. And yeah, and Ivory Coast, like obviously, there are a lot of people have been calling them the dark horses of this tournament potentially because they have like quite notable players in the squad already, which who plays in Europe. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyways,
it
let's
won't
move
be
on
a
to Senegal.
surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Senegal, basically a great team. They want some nice players, but I don't think I haven't seen any of their friendlies recently, so I'm not sure how will basically they line up against a stacked team like France because they got some lethal pace up front, and I'm not sure if Senegal has the defenders to back up their pace.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. And obviously, but I still see Senegal as a real AFCON winners. And I do think
Yeah,
the quality
obviously.
of their team will be enough for a second place finish regardless, even if there are like concerns.
Yeah, it definitely will be. There's also uh, the last team in the group, Norway, which is also a threat probably. We got Haaland, players like Odegaard, Antonio. There's a lot of players that actually play in Europe, and they can be a threat to teams like France and Senegal.
Yeah, obviously, and there's like Sorloth as well and Ryerson. So I do think that a lot of people call this team just a Haaland team, which I do think is quite false because you just mentioned like there are many players who play in other Euro clubs as well.
Yeah,
So I
true.
do, and it's not just that. I do think they can be a good under like dog team as well for this World Cup.
Yeah, for sure. They have the potential.
Yeah, yeah. So I do think for me, I would back like Norway to finish third in the group actually.
Yeah, So talk about Iraq, which is the last. They potentially got the hardest group possible, I would say, because all the other three teams are quite better than them in almost every field of play. So it will be interesting to see the Iraq how they defend against such giants.
Yeah, and obviously like the past friendlies for Iraq, they have continued playing the defensive style of system, like low block. They
Yeah,
continue playing the same style. So I do think it is kind of a group of that for them. It's unfortunate. Like I don't think they are like I wouldn't even say they are like one of the worst teams in the World Cup, but I mean the group is quite hard. So sadly, I do think they will be the finish at the bottom of the group.
yeah. So let's think the final prediction for Group I.
Yeah. So for me, I think France would finish first. For second, I would back Senegal, and for third, I would say Norway, and then for fourth, I would put Iraq. What about you?
I think France finishes first. Holland helps his team to finish second in this group. Actually, I think he will do
Mm.
well for Norway. Senegal finishing third, and unfortunately, Iraq will be finishing last. Although they have a Pakistani origin player playing in their team, which I love to see do well, but looking at their group, it would be no less than a miracle if they finish in the top three.
I don't disagree with that take. I've said like Norway. I do think they're actually a quite good team. So yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a crazy take. Yeah,
Mm. So let's move towards Group J now.
yeah. So obviously, first off, we got the defending world champions, Argentina. So I mean, the player I think this time would shine the most for Argentina, I think will be Alvarez. Like if I just had to pick a
Yeah,
player, because
yeah, he's
he's
been doing well.
yeah, and I do think he will be like the more main player of this World Cup, anyways.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because we will have a lot of new players in the Argentine team as well. Thiago Almada and the player from Nico Paz.
Yeah, Nico
And we
Paz.
also have and we also have players like McAllister. Uh, yeah, he was actually I would say the best, perhaps the best midfielder for Argentina in the last World Cup because he did quite well in the Qatar World Cup and even assisted in the final game.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously we still
So
got like returning players such as Romero, Martinez, like like the big name players. So I do think I am quite interested to see how Argentina will uh finish in this World Cup. Like, what do you think? So if I will ask you, what do you think should be like the bare minimum of where Argentina should finish? Like, like semifinals, quarterfinals. What would you say should be like the bare minimum for Argentina?
I mean, looking at their team, obviously everyone in their nation would absolutely love to be able to win it back to back, but I don't think this is happening in this World Cup. I see
Yeah,
Argentina probably being knocked out at in the either quarter or the semifinals. I don't think they
yeah,
will reach the final this time.
yeah. I would back that. And for this time, I want to switch it up a little bit. So I want to talk about Jordan. So
Yeah,
obviously, I think the fact that Jordan has even qualified for this World Cup is quite a big achievement already itself. And I really don't see like them progressing that far. Like I don't really see them progressing that far.
yeah. To be honest, this we say this often in our Pakistan like groups because we faced this team in our World Cup qualifiers and they beat us 2-0. So we
Mm,
actually joke about their main player Musa Al Tamari that he's gone to playing against Pakistan in the World Cup qualifiers to playing against Messi in the World Cup now.
mm.
So it's really exciting to see how they do in the group. And although they
Yeah,
got a very difficult group,
yeah, I'm all in for a Jordan masterclass. To be honest, like, I would be very happy if they could upset some teams.
yes,
Like just yeah, like imagine upset. And the one thing I've noticed that when I was checking the highlights is that Jordan still kind of plays like quite a defensive style of football as well, which is kind of expected for teams like who are kind of going to be like the weaker side of the teams.
yeah, yeah, true. And obviously, it's understandable because you see the teams they play against are such high level. I think they faced Switzerland in one of their friendlies, and the moment they tried to press on the Swiss players, they conceded a
Mm.
goal in like three passes. So
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely have to hold their line back well.
yeah, yeah. So let's move on to Algeria now then.
Yeah, let's move on to Algeria with their absolute star of a player, Riyad Mahrez, another player with a lot of pressure on his shoulders from his nation.
Yep. And I think that Algeria have over the past few years have never been like super bad. I think they always have been like they have achieved more than the expectations. And obviously now the one of the players I'm looking forward to see the most is at Nori, you know, the Man City defender.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I would be quite interested to see how he plays during this World Cup. And as we go, like I've noticed, like they're mostly the style of play they play is still like quite like quick counter style of football.
Yep, it is. If you look at their recent friendly against Holland, they actually beat them 1-0, I believe.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, it's definitely a big boost for the Algerian side to beat the team with such a solid back line like the Holland. So yeah, it's definitely a boost for them.
All right, so let's move on to Austria.
Yeah. So Austria is the team that most of the fans have as their dark horse in the World Cup, and I kind of understand why people saying it because they do quite well. I mean, look at their recent games; they do play well. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do, what they bring.
Yeah, yeah, obviously we still got like players like Sabitzer, you know, and then David Alaba. There are some star players in the team,
Yeah,
which I would be considered star players. And obviously, like if you look back at the past Euros, they never like do quite bad as well. Like they always do kind of upset a team as well. So I would be quite interested to see how they would do in this group stage as well.
yeah. So let's move towards the final prediction of Group J.
Would you want to start first?
Okay, so yeah, Group J. I think Argentina tops the group, followed by
Mm.
Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. It's basically, let's say, the exact order in this in which the group currently is. I think this will be the final standing of the group.
For me, I do have Argentina locked in at number one and Jordan locked in at number four. But I do think Austria and Algeria might be like second or third. Like I mean, like they both could be either second or third. But for now, I do still back Algeria more as well. So I would finish in the same order as well.
So let's move towards Group K now.
So
Uh,
Group K is starting off. So Portugal this year, they actually I do think they have a quite stacked team. I mean, for me, like, and obviously a lot of people have already pointed out, I do think Portugal has the best midfield of this whole World Cup already. I mean, Vitinha, João Neves, and Bruno Fernandes, who probably had one of his best seasons in a while in the Prem. I mean, like, so even though I do think that in the attack they could be kind of screwed in a sense because uh, obviously Ronaldo is quite old now, and then the Ramos he has not played much for PSG as well, so that could be a concern. But I don't. I think they will be well past that because I think the midfield is quite stacked enough to the point it shouldn't be a worry. What do you think?
yeah, exactly. I agree with the fact that basically they have the most informed midfield right now in the world. As you see for PSG and Bruno for Manchester United. So on yeah, I would say basically if you saw their most recent friendly against Nigeria, I think. So you look at how Ronaldo basically kind of struggled at finishing the goals. So I definitely think if they start Ronaldo, they might face some issues like with the finishing. However, Ramos, although he hasn't started much for PSG, but I think he should be given more chances, and I think he will do well for Portugal up front.
Yeah, yeah. I For me, I always believe that players do. have more potential of doing even better in national teams. So I do think I would back Ramos to still be the starting striker. And like you were saying about the recent match against Nigeria, like I was noticed that they weren't like comfortably winning, but the fact that they could afford to make 9 substitutions, like it just showed like the depth Portugal
Yeah,
kind of has this World Cup as well.
yeah,
So
it's
for me, I would put them as clear number one of this group.
hmm. So yeah, let's move towards Colombia now.
Mm.
So just to start off, they got Luis Diaz, who's been absolutely killing it at Bayern Munich, followed by James Rodriguez, who if you ask people, they'll say that he didn't deserve a call up, but I think he's basically a star player still, despite playing at the MLS. He obviously
Yeah.
all stepped up for Colombia. So yeah, I think he will do well for the country in this
And
World
yeah,
Cup.
obviously, so and there's Luis Suarez as well. Like he has been killing it in the league as well. He has scored many goals. So I think the Colombia attack is looking quite stacked already.
Yeah, and they're like defensively, they're quite strong as well. So I potentially see them as a group topper in this group K because
Mm.
they have the potential to actually finish at the top spot.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I would personally choose Colombia as my dark horse because I really do think that, yeah, like you mentioned before, not only they're stacked in attack, their defense is quite good as well. And obviously, we cannot forget the fact that in 2024 Copa America, they were the finalists and they
Yep.
barely lost to Argentina as well. So I do think in 2 years, I mean, not a lot have changed, just except the fact that DS have gotten even better. So I don't think, so I do think they will actually perform quite good in the group. So like you said, I do think that they could finish first as well. Like it's either between Portugal or Colombia, but I'll still back
Yeah.
Portugal for number one for now.
Mm. So yeah, moving towards Uzbekistan now with their star player Husanov, who's been doing well for Man City this season. But there obviously you can tell that there will be a lot of pressure upon him because since he's the most experienced player in this Uzbekistan team. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, true. Because yeah, he's no doubt the star player. So and obviously the I do think that Uzbekistan is probably one of like the fastest growing like Asian football team. I mean, like they have progressed a lot over the years already, and I think we forget that you know who the coach of Uzbekistan is.
the coach of Uzbekistan. I'm not sure, but let me just search it up right now. I'm probably sure. Oh, it's actually Fabio Cannavaro.
Yeah, exactly. It's Fabio Cannavaro. So I think that with him, they could obviously like he probably will like install like a more defensive style of play for Uzbekistan, and obviously their star player being a defender. So I do think they could actually provide a like they won't be an easy opponent, that's for sure. I think they'll provide a challenge as well.
Yeah, obviously, if you look at their friendly against Holland, they scored one and they only conceded two penalties against Holland. So
Yup,
this is definitely a big plus for them because looking at how great of a team Holland is, and if you can defend them well for 90 minutes and only let them score like two penalties, I think it's
yup,
yeah, quite good for their defensive boost for them.
yup. And now let's move on to DR Congo.
Yep. So DR Congo, basically they uh, from DR Congo, I heard more about their fans than basically their team. So and obviously you would expect them to play the usual low block with the counter attack football, like almost every team is gonna do, every small nation is gonna do in this World Cup. So I'm expecting them to have a similar style of play in the World Cup.
I mean, obviously, like I think DR Congo. I mean, obviously they have star players though, like Van Bissaka. I mean, he would be a star player for them.
Yeah, obviously, but yeah, I mean, if you compare it with the other teams in the group, expect Uzbekistan. They are like quite
Yeah, yeah.
below the
I know.
level.
Like they probably don't have the advantage over here, but I was saying like even the qualifiers they didn't do that bad in the previous qualifiers. Like all the matches, they haven't been doing quite bad, and they also have Visa in attack as well. So, but obviously due to the fact that it is a quite tough group. I mean, you have Portugal, Colombia, Uzbekistan. I mean, we all said these are all good teams. So even though I do think DR Congo is a decent team, like it won't be surprising if they finish last. So, what would you say are the predictions for this group?
Yeah, I mean, every team in this group is basically the one of the top in their respective, like you know, in Asia you got Uzbekistan, and Africa you got Congo, in South America one of the top teams, Colombia and Portugal in Europe. So it's basically four different continents. It will be very interesting to see how they face up against each other. But it's, as my final prediction, I would say Colombia to top the group. Portugal will finish second, and Uzbekistan third, and Congo unfortunately finishes last.
For me, I would put Portugal first. For second, I would put Colombia, as I've said. For third, I won't be surprised if it's either between DR Congo and Uzbekistan. But for now,
Yeah, yeah,
I would put Uzbekistan, and then for fourth, I would put DR Congo.
yeah. Like it won't be surprising if DR Congo manages to clinch a third spot in the group. Yeah, let's
Yep.
move on towards the final group, the Group L.
Yeah, final group, obviously. England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. So yeah, obviously let's start off with England first. I mean, first thing I want to point out is obviously, there were like some questionable decisions made in the team selection, which people were kind of like questioning about, like how Spence got picked
Yeah,
and then Trent was left out. So what do you think about all that?
yeah. Obviously, there was a lot of backlash to their coach
Yeah, yeah,
about the player selection, but I think we should let the coach do his job because he assesses the player better than any of us who's basically just behind the screen and commenting on social media. But yeah, there are, if you look at their forms, it is questionable, but they might have a plan in mind. So yeah, let's see what they do.
yeah, yeah, true. I mean, it's quite good that at the end of the day, you kind of reminded us that like we should like. I mean, the a coach probably has a reasoning behind his decisions, so
Yeah,
we should kind of like respect that as well.
yeah,
So, so let's talk about it. So obviously, if we have to pick between a top scorer for England, I mean, it's no doubt, right? I would choose Harry Kane. You would choose Harry Kane. If you just ask me like the top scorer of the
yeah.
team.
Obviously,
Yeah, but how do you think like their defense, midfield, attack is as a whole though?
I think they have some good players like Gui. They got in the back, and they got Harry Kane up front, and they probably will have. I think they have Cole Palmer in the squad as well, who's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
not so
No,
good. I mean, for
No, Cole
Chelsea.
Palmer is not in the squad.
Oh, okay.
No, Palmer is
Oh,
not in the squad. Yeah, he's not in the squad.
hmm, yeah.
Yeah, he was
It's
left out.
very interesting
That
to
was one of
see.
the controversial decisions as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it will
Yeah,
be like interesting to see how Tuchel plays in the World Cup because if he doesn't, there will be an absolute massive backlash from the English fans from Tuchel. They're already
yeah,
referring
yeah,
to him as an for an agent.
yeah, yeah. But Like I was saying, I do think the midfield is not that. I mean, I do think the starting midfield should be probably the same one as they played in the qualifier, which is Anderson paired with Rice and then Bellingham in the more attacking side.
Mm, yeah. So although this group is like quite interesting, there are like three potential teams that could finish first in the group. You got
Yeah,
Croatia
yeah.
and Ghana as well. So
Yep.
speaking about Croatia,
I mean, it is the team of Unks, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's
like
gotten old.
I mean, like 8 years later, you still seeing Modric, Kovacic, like like
Yeah,
Perisic is still in the
if
squad,
you,
right? Perisic is still in the squad. Like it's
yeah,
really the battle of the like it's really the team of
uh,
Unks.
if you watch their recent highlights, it's probably still Modric carrying them from the midfield. So
Yep.
I don't think anything has changed much for them, and this could be like a big like problem for them if Modric is obviously old. If he gets a slight injury or something, then it definitely will be a problem for Croatia.
Yeah, yeah, true. Obviously, the main concern, obviously, everyone have is the fact that they're quite old. So when you see like younger players, so it could be a problem for them. But at the end of the day, they still have Livakovic at the goalkeeper, so I do think he's a solid goalkeeper. Like I won't be surprised if they still like upset teams and make it far.
Yeah, obviously true. Speaking about Ghana, there's also there's another team which is capable of doing a lot.
Yep.
There's
I
like
mean, okay,
Inaki
obviously
Williams.
when you okay, yeah,
So it will be a great game. Like I believe they faced Portugal in their last World Cup campaign in the group, and they barely lost to
mm,
Portugal. They played good. They played well against them. So I won't be writing them off in this group. Definitely a top two contender
yeah,
for me.
yeah, true. And obviously when there Ghana still has star players, I think like Kudos, Semenyo, and let me think I mean I mean Thomas Party. I mean
Yeah,
like I mean yeah, they still have like solid players, so they could pull off an upset. But there has been but people do think that they do kind of underachieve compared to expectations though. Do you kind of agree with that?
I mean if you Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's obviously the fans of every nation usually exceed from the expectation. Like, obviously everyone wants their country to win it, but it unfortunately can't happen because at the end of the day, there's only one winner out of the 48 nations playing. So, and yeah, and as I said earlier, it's the World Cup. Every team will do their best to try and you know, exceed past the goals they had in mind.
Mm. So
So
yeah, let's move on to the
yeah,
last team on the group, Panama.
uh,
Now, obviously, Panama, I think out of all the teams here, I think Panama probably plays the most defensive style of football out of all. And
yeah,
even though I do think an average person will probably already put them at the bottom, I still think they are capable of pulling off. I do think they could like easily get like 1 or 2 point as well. Because I don't know if you remember, but they actually kind of like beat USA a few times as well in the past, and it's like recent as well.
yeah. If you They recently played a friendly against Bosnia and they drew 1-1. I mean, if you look at
Yep,
the Bosnian team, they have like they don't have they have a decent squad. You can say you got like Zeko, Kolasinac, players
yep,
like them for them. But
yep.
if yeah, I watched the friendly, and yes, you said they did play a defensive style of play and were more reliant on their counter attacks.
Yep, yep. So should we move on to the predictions for this group?
Yeah, let's start.
You start first.
Okay, so in this group, I don't know, man. It's kind of
Yeah,
tough to
it is
predict who
quite
finishes
confusing
first. Yeah,
because
um,
like England, like obviously, they are kind of famous for like fumbling in the sense. So like I
yeah,
wouldn't even easily just put them at number one, just because they probably have the best talents.
true, true. So I'm just gonna take a, not such a like big uh, gamble, but I'm gonna say uh, Ghana finishes at the top here, followed
Hmm.
by England and Croatia and Panama at fourth.
Hmm. Me, I would say I would I would still put England at first, but okay, actually, mine prediction would be the same as a group as in this order. So I would put England first, Croatia second, Ghana third, and Panama at last.
Yeah, so I mean it's like such a weird group. You can't really tell
Yeah, yeah.
what's gonna happen here.
Like on first glance, this group doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it could be like that crazy, but I do think there could be a lot of variations for this group. Like it would be a fun group to watch for
Yeah, I
sure, I
mean,
think.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not gonna be like England is gonna have an easy way to like make it out of the group. They will lose to
True,
teams
true.
like Ghana and potentially Panama too.
Yup, exactly.
And yeah, as you know, there's basically another the rule in this World Cup. The the third place best performing teams also go through to the next stage. So this rule will encourage even the smallest nation to like give it their best for a shot to finish third because you never know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so yeah, it will be quite interesting to see. And obviously, now the World Cup is less than 6 hours away. Like it's getting really exciting now. So,
Yeah, it's basically only 3 hours or something now.
oh, it's actually only 3 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
for me it's like 3.5 hours.
but yeah, it's 3.5 hours. I was tripping. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it is 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's actually getting exciting. So,
So
should we end the podcast here?
yeah, we just have to finish it up. So let's just end with the outro. So this is our predictions, group G to L in this podcast and group A to F in the previous podcast. Make sure you watch both, like, comment, and subscribe. We have three other members in our team, which we could not unfortunately get on board with us due to the time zone differences. But hopefully, in the future, we all five of us can hopefully come together and make a podcast together. Hopefully,
Yeah, and make sure to catch us on the next one. We hope to have all the members together so we can have like put out even better content. So yeah, can't wait to see y'all on the next one as well.
oh yeah. Signing off for now. Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
All right, see you. Goodbye.